How to achieve world peace. Atomic bombs, nuclear weapons, grafts and corruptions, crimes, famine, thirst, blood. Name it, the world has it. Nations against nations, states against church, government against the armed forces, military versus the fascist, innocent civilians in between. The guns rattled, the deafening sounds filled the air, and silence. Is there still a way out? In an instant, our lives are threatened with uncertainty. Our children face in bleak future. Everything seems dark ahead. Everything is vague. But still, everybody gropes for soothing words. Everybody hopes. Yet, what is there to hope for? But then, hope. We must not let this go out of our hands, out of our grasp, out of our lives completely. It is not a question of our differences, not even of our mistakes, but rather of our principles that we can finally resolve and come up hopefully with the most taken for granted word, peace. Yes, peace. There's nothing so queer about this, nothing so elusive, but only this is the most abused word. Its meaning drowned with this excessive bang-bang of guns, our sense of become numb, our consciousness refusing to believe its existence. We often regard peace with its negatively charged counterparts, war, friction, and contention. Yet, we never progressed. We never even dare unbosom our blunder. We never even cared to make it our overriding concern to propagate peace and rouse the underlying benevolence deep within our hearts. Can we not, even just for once, cease it from our mistakes, learn from our past, and come out spiritually functioned? Let's face it, our principles are as rotten as our faith in God. We may not be aware of this, but it is an established fact that more often than not, our tendency is to seek refuge in worldly splendor, unaware that we are only putting our limit to a chance of finding serenity. We are in a labyrinth of moral darkness, lost and searching, and unless we work for our escape, we'll be trapped forever. How many of those people up there have sold their principles, on one way or another, just to be where they think they belong? How many of them have preferred to get into demagoguery, just to win power, accumulate wealth, and get into the most influential part of society? And how many of us have ever thought of peace as the most basic requirement for us to ever find happiness? And yet, you might ask now, there are not much rules to follow in achieving world peace. The fundamental steps to this must come from every person who still believes that peace can exist and is willing to give it a chance. Basically, there have to be some changes that have to take place within us first. With this, we have to involve our heart, our soul, our sight. We can't be forever modeling our peccadillos. We have to be cruel to ourselves sometimes in order to be kind to the entire humanity. Remember, to propagate peace, there has to be a contamination process. Next, it must be considered that for as long as pride and prejudice exist, peace shall never be within our reach. People will always try to have for themselves the best of everything: power, influence, money, at whatever cost, and stepping on the rights of others in the process. They will try to outdo one another and then come out as the morally restrained heroes. Yet, no one will ever know that going to the top means rejecting the principles that are parallel to the law of God and to the law of people. We have indeed an animal instinct in us to disregard peace, deflate our principles, and go on with the things that are arbitrary to our impulses. Yes, everything is up to us. Everything must come from us. And we are held responsible for whatever future that awaits us. It is time to wake up now. We just could not let ourselves be swayed into something horribly inevitable. We have been in this maze since time immemorial, and we shall always be in this delirium, unless we learn to abnegate our own personal, yet selfish motives. Man lifts man up, man drags man down. Indeed, man is a rational being, but he ceases to be one the moment casuistry steps in. We are living in a life wherein facts are much stronger than fiction. But then, we live in no dreamland. There is that grim reality that we have to deal with. We are given the G of logic to think and reason out correctly, but we are also given the prerogative to use this in such a way that it is served as as a common purpose or morally accepted ideology. Life is a game, they say. These things are just the basic and the elementary steps to the achievement of the world peace. The underlying tone to this still longs for our faith in God, to save us from crises of our own making. If we have failed ourselves, God never will. Indeed, the achievement of peace is just a matter of standardization of our moral and principles, of our faith in ourselves, in others, and in Him. And the unfolding of justice for the entire humanity. St. Thomas Aquinas once said, Pax opus justitia. Peace is the product of justice. Is there still a way out? No one can ever tell. Nobody can ever be sure. But one thing is certain. Man will never know the essence of peace, not unless he knows the real meaning of death.